Hey everybody, Ryan here from Ryan Hockey Channel. I'm in a new spot, as you can tell from a different background. I'm late at night, so I'm doing the video in my bedroom instead of in my normal work area because my twins are sleeping on the other side of the wall there. I don't want to wake them up. So I am doing this in my room. So sorry about the different background, but really not too different, but still. Alright, let's get started with the New York Rangers 2021-2022 season preview. Now, if you have not done so already, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and make sure and let me know in the comments what you think. If you agree or disagree with my view of how this team will do this year, let me know. Just be civil in the comments, as I always ask, please. Alright, these are the additions. Barclay Goodrow was added from Tampa Bay for a 2022 7th round pick and re-signed for 6 years at a $3.642 million per season deal. Now, honestly, that's a good price, and honestly, for what you get with Goodrow, I think that's good for the Rangers. They need to add some muscle, as the incident with Tom Wilson proved last season with their star player, of course. Artemi Panarin was taken out for, it was only a few games at the end of the season when the season was already over technically at that point. But still, that plus the addition, as you see at the bottom, of Ryan Reeves from Vegas for a 2022 third round pick, and re-signed them as well to a $1.75 million contract extension. That just shows they're serious about protecting their players, and they're serious about taking a run. And I don't blame them. I think this team is at the point where they could definitely fight for a playoff spot. So let's keep going with the additions before we get to that. They had Nick DeSimone from Winnipeg for a 2022 fourth round pick. That was, Nick DeSimone and Winnipeg's 2022 fourth round pick, if I could speak, from Vegas for Brett Howden. Patrick Nemeth was signed to a 3-year, $2.5 million contract. Good depth defender. Jared Tenorti, 2 years, $900,000. Another guy to add some muscle to his team. Greg McKegg, 1 year, $750,000, and Dryden Hunt, 2 years, $762.5 thousand contract per season. And they had Sammy Blais and a 2022 second round pick from St. Louis for Pavel Buchnevich. Now, Blais could definitely be a pretty good player for them. I mean, hasn't reached that offensive peak I think St. Louis expected. That's why they viewed him as definitely someone they could lose and not cry about, especially getting Buchnevich in return. And I think Rangers may miss Buchnevich, but I don't think that's the end of the world necessarily lost. Now, here's our subtractions. Brett Howden went to Vegas. They bought out Tony DeAngelo. Shocker there. More of a shocker that Carolina actually signed him. I'm surprised anybody was willing to take that shot, but hey, they did. Darren Radish went to Tampa Bay. Phil DiGiuseppe went to Vancouver. I think that one's probably going to be one of the more painful losses. He actually had a pretty good season for them last year in a third/fourth line role. He did really good in the role. Nick DeSimone, who you saw the trade for earlier, went to Calgary. He was a free agent anyways. Brendan Smith went to Carolina. Depth defender for him. Pavel Buchnevich definitely is the biggest name to leave. Went to St. Louis via trade. But like I said, they have a lot of young talent coming up, so I don't think it's necessarily the end of the world. I mean, definitely an established player versus up-and-coming players. You could have a growing pain there, but we'll see. Jack Johnson went to Colorado. That is I know it's under subtractions, but honestly, I think that's a positive. That's a gain. Mason Gertson went to New Jersey, and that's all losses. They re-signed Igor Shesterkin to a 4-year, $5,666,667 per season. That's a pretty good deal for Shesterkin, honestly. I think he could have got more if he wanted to. Phil Cheadle re-signed for 2 years, $2.3 million per. Another good one. Julian Gauthier re-signed 1 year, $775,000. Mika Zibanejad just re-signed a couple days ago, 8 years, $8.5 million per season. That's some good money, but he's been really good for him the last few years, so honestly, I think he's earned the money. And Leor Hayek re-signed for 1 year, $874,125, and that is all your re-signings. This is their current salary cap situation. They have room. honestly, with this team, I think they'll be pushing for a playoff spot. That is a good thing to have. $73.74 million they have in cap right now. Projected space is about $7.7 million, and deadline cap space that you see there about $38 million. That doesn't add up or compute in my head, but I know you can go a certain percentage over, but still, that's a lot. But still, 7.7 million is still pretty good. You can add some people for a run at that point, obviously. So this team is in a good spot right now. All right, this is their forwards. Sorry, I know the computer is on a stand right now, so I can easily see everything, and so you can see me clear. All right, Artemi Panarin is the main forward, of course, making the biggest amount of money, $11.6 million. And next year is when Zibaneja's new contract kicks in, so he's only $5.35 million this year, so that's a positive. After this year, Ryan Strome is a UFA, as is Kevin Rooney. Julian Gauthier, Capo Caco, Vitaly Kravtsov, and Sammy Blais are RFAs. Now, Blais, depending on how he plays this year, could get a big raise or he could just get a moderate raise. Kravtsov, same thing. I think if he plays the whole season, he probably will get a moderate raise to, who knows, maybe like around the $2-3 million, depending on how his year goes. That's the big thing. If he doesn't have a massive year and he's back and forth, it's going to be a smaller contract for sure. Capo Caco, if he definitely shows the improvement we've been waiting for, then definitely he could get a lot of money. But as of right now, I'd say he's more around the lines of the $3.5 million a year, maybe. But still, I think he has more to show offensively, and I think this may be the year to do it. Then, of course, he got Lafreniere for another couple of years, so his cheapest contract, and we'll hopefully see better from him this year than we did at the beginning of the season. He showed more at the end of the season. He showed a lot more flashes of what he could be. Hopefully, he can keep that development going in the right direction. On the defensive side, Jacob Trouba needs to have a way better year. For that amount of money that they're paying for him, he needs to be better. That last year just was not good enough. Injury plagued, of course, but still not a great season. All right, let's see. They have Adam Fox and Libor Hayek also are both RFAs after this season. That's their only free agents on the back end, which is nice. But Adam Fox, you gotta imagine he's gonna get a big payday if he has another big year. Definitely gonna get a big payday. On the goalie side, Grigoriev is RFA after this year, and I gotta imagine they're gonna trade him at some point. Maybe not during the season, maybe in the off season, because I mean, Shesterkin obviously is their goalie of the future. That is obvious. Grigoriev, I gotta imagine somebody's gonna pay the amount they want for him because he's still a pretty dang good goalie. Is he as good as Shesterkin? From what I see right now, no. But he still is a pretty dang good goalie and could be easily a starter on pretty much half the teams in the league right now. I mean, can you honestly tell me, like, an example, San Jose, is Grigoriev better than Aiden Hill? Yeah, I would say so. I could be wrong, but to me, I see Grigoriev as better than someone like that. San Jose might be someone who might be willing to pay the price to get that sort of goalie, but still, there's other teams too. That's just one example. All right, you can see their dead cap. They have one more year of Henrik Lundqvist's $1.5 million buyout. Well, not $1.5 million total, just $1.5 million that's going towards the cap this year. Kevin Shattenkirk, 2 more seasons, including this one. Same with Girardi and D'Angelo. Brad Richards, they're paying for 5 more seasons, but it was one of those compliance buyouts, so they're not technically anything against cap, but they're still paying his buyout one way or the other. Just not counting against cap. All right, here is their non-roster forwards. Justin Richards, Austin Rushoff, yeah. Jacob Elmer, Tim Gettinger, and Ty Ronning are RFAs after this season. Greg McKaig, Johnny Brodzinski, and Anthony Greco are UFAs. So, not a whole lot of anything I'd say that is absolutely impending that is going to devastate them if they lose. But depth-wise, definitely a possibility. Defensively, they got Brayden Schneider coming up still. I don't think he's making it this year, but soon enough. Same with Matthew Robertson is definitely one for the future to watch out for. Tarmo Ruonen is RFA after the season. Anthony Boteto is a UFA. I forgot they still have Boteto. He definitely is probably an extra defender at this point. All three of those minor league goalies, that would be Tyler Wall and Adam Huska, are RFAs, and Keith Kincaid is a UFA. And Kincaid actually looked good at times last year when he was a backup. I want to say with New Jersey? Or was it with the Rangers? Where was Kincaid last year? I know I saw him play some games. He had some pretty good games. But still, he's down there, so he's definitely someone who could fill in if there's injured one of the two. Alright, their 2021 draft. They picked at number 16, their only first-round pick, Brendan Othman. I'm not going to lie, not someone I've been too familiar with. I didn't hear a whole lot of hubbub about him going into the draft, so I'm not too familiar with Othman, so I'm not too sure what his future outlook looks like. I mean, a mid first round pick, obviously, since there are now 32 teams, that is the middle point right there. So you gotta hope that there's more upside than downside, but also I've seen a lot more of the mid first rounders turn to nothing than the early to late ones. So let's keep an eye on him. Then you can see the rest of them there. Alright, 2022 draft. They have their own first, own second. They have St. Louis's second as well. No third round pick. They have their own fourth and Winnipeg's fourth. Their own fifth and sixth. And no seventh round pick next year. Then the following two seasons, they have all their own picks as of now. So obviously, like I said, they have cap space. They have picks. An extra second round pick, that could get you something decent. Especially like a depth forward, depth defender, definitely can do that. I mean, I don't know if I'd waste like a second on that, but you could definitely get a decent one at that rate. A pretty good one at that rate. But still, you got something to work with, and if they're making playoffs, their first round pick's always available, right? Alright, this is what their lines look like according to Cap Friendly. Once again, go check them out. Great resource, anything cap related, and also to run some simulated drafts, that sort of thing. Go check it out. Alright. According to this, their first line would be Lafreniere with Zibanejad and Kreider. Okay, definitely could be good. Like I said, Lafreniere did not have a great rookie season. 21 points. Not the worst first overall pick year. Not the best either. So, definitely room to grow, and honestly, he was showing more flashes of that possibility at the end of the season, like I said before. So, I'm waiting to see what he does this year, honestly. According to them, like I said, this is just their depth charts, not necessarily how the lines will look necessarily. According to the second line would be Panarin, Strome, and Kakko. Kakko, like I said, still has not shown that offense to really blow people away like a lot of people expected. 17 points in 48 games. Hopefully he can turn that around this year, like I said before. Ryan Strome had a pretty good year, 49 points last year. Well, very good year, honestly. Artemi Panarin, 58 points in 42 games before he was injured. And we all know that incident. If you don't know that incident, go look up Tom Wilson, Artemi Panarin. You'll find out. It's not hard to find. Alright, third line would look like Goodrow, Cheadle, and Kravtsov. Okay. Kravtsov, 4 points in 20 games last year. Goodrow, coming off 2 straight Stanley Cups, so not a bad guy to have on your team, and a very good but a very good defensive forward for sure. And he can chip in points, 20 points in 55 games last year. Alright, on the fourth line, looks like Blais, Rooney, and Reeves. Reeves is injured right now. I know it says Ryan Strome is. I'm not sure how long those injuries are. I don't think either is expected to be long-term, but definitely could hurt to be missing at least Strome for sure. I mean, Reeves isn't the end of the world to be missing, but I want to see them play Washington with him on the team. I do. I really want to see this. I really do. Because I have a feeling Goodrow's going to go after, what's his name? Shoot. The guy that used to be on Calgary there that likes to piss people off. I can't think of his name. I know I'll get it when I go to a Washington video here in a little bit, but that guy's going to, I bet you that's who Goodrow's going to go after, and Reeves going to go after Wilson. We're going to have some fun games between those two this year. On defense, you got Ryan Lindgren with Adam Fox. Alright, Adam Fox, great year last year. Lindgren also very solid year, plus 20. a non-playoff team. That is acceptably good. Well, not acceptable. That's just really good. And also, he just loves to throw those big hits, and he's very good at them. Keandre Miller had a pretty good rookie year, 12 points in 53 games. I mean, he definitely had a good start to the year, kind of tailed off, but I mean, he's got to get used to the NHL versus playing in the NCAA. So, definitely a year of transition, and hopefully this year it translates into something more. I think it's what a lot of people are expecting. And they have him paired up with Jacob Trouba. Like I said, Trouba, not great season. 12 points in 38 games played, plus 3 in 21.5 minutes average. That's not the best. I mean, he definitely did better when he played for a team he didn't want to play for in Winnipeg. So, let's see some more from you. Then, of course, Patrick Nemeth, who bounced around a couple teams last year, and Nils Lundqvist, one of their top prospects, is supposedly going to be on the D pair, the third D pair. So that definitely could be interesting. Then goalies, like I said, Shesterkin and Georgiev, definitely solid duo there. Hopefully stay healthy all year. Scratches would be Julian Gauthier, Dryden Hunt, and Jared Tenorti. Like I said, Tenorti will probably be playing in those games against Washington. He's not a small individual and not scared to throw a punch here and there. So definitely could see him in those games. Like I said, I'm looking forward to these Washington Ranger games. I don't know about you. I'm not even a fan of these teams necessarily. I mean, my main team is not one of those two. I don't mind either team. I don't hate either team by any stretch of imagination. I actually kind of like the Rangers. Always liked them. Like that 94 run for sure. Alright, training camp. As of when I made this, they only had 2 guys on their training camp roster still. Hayek and Morgan Barron. So, see what they do. Alright, this is their minors list. I mean, they brought in Brodzinski, Anthony Greco. I mean, I can't say any other forward. I mean, Greg McKay has played games, obviously. Tim Kettinger has gotten a few. Justin Richards looks like he got in the game last year. On the defensive side, let's see. Do I have any high picks here? Oh, first round pick and Braden Schneider, but I don't think he's going to make the team this year. Anthony Bitetto will get in a few games, I'm sure, with injuries. Let's see. I don't see any high picks. I mean, Matthew Robertson was a 49th overall. I don't see him making the team this year either. I mean, Zachary Jones got some games in last year. So did Runin and Skinner. No, Runin and Bitetto. Sorry, I said that wrong. So, definitely guys who can fill in again. Keith Kincaid, 3-2. 2.60 goals against average with a .898. I mean, not spectacular. But, like I said, the games I remember seeing, he looks solid at times. But he also had bad games, too. But that's what you get with a third-string goalie. You don't know what you're going to get. Especially one who's already 32. I mean, he's already in his prime. He's already grown up. This is the max you're getting from a guy. On the loan side, both Othman and Carl Hendrickson is there too. So, guys who may play in the future. Alright, prospect-wise. Oh, they have a Ragnarsson. Interesting. Let's see. I don't see any first-round picks in this. I mean, there's Olaf Lindbaum, who was a 39 overall pick, so second-rounder. So, I mean, none that really stand out to me, really, necessarily. As guys that scream, I'm going to blow you away in the NHL. But you never know what prospects is. Like, the guy who's picked 208 there, like Hank Kemp, maybe he'll end up being like an all-star someday, but you never know. But none that stand out just from visual name is what I'm saying. So here's our top prospects. Nils Lundqvist, defender, 32 points in 52 SHL games last season. Vitaly Kravtsov played. He got 4 points in 20 NHL games last year, 24 points in 49 KHL games. Braden Schneider, 27 points in 22 WHL games. That's pretty good output right there, right? But I mean, it is junior. And 1 point in 2 AHL games. Zach Jones, 4 points in 10 NHL games and 24 points in 29 NCAA games. So he'll probably get to play a few games here and there, I'm sure. Brendan Othman, their first-round pick from this last season. Left winger, 1 point in 1 OHL game. That's so far this season. And then the last five that round out the top 10, Matthew Robertson, defender, Morgan Barron forward, Carl Hendrickson forward, William Coyle, I believe is how you pronounce that, Coyle as a forward, and Brett Berard a forward as well. Alright, this is their season outlook. This is really what the Ranger fans want to see. I see them as a middle-range team. Like I said, they're a growing team. They're not quite at that top tier yet, of course, but if they continue developing the way that it looks like they are, this will be definitely a team pushing for a playoff spot this year, if not easily in a playoff spot. We have to see, of course. Injuries will play a big part in that because this team had some injury problems, especially down the stretch last year, that really hurt them. So hopefully they stay healthy, and hopefully no sophomore slumps. That's always something to worry about too with rookies from last season. But I do predict them to be the middle to the top of their division. Their division isn't the strongest one in the league, but it's definitely not the weakest one. It's not the Pacific. If they were in the Pacific, I'd say it'd be a top team, 100%. But they're not in the Pacific. There's still a solid division, so they're going to have some competition. They're going to have to win some big games. And that's something they're going to have to transition from, is losing those games that matter most to winning the games that matter most. Beating Washington, beating the Islanders. Those are teams. They got to do that this year, and I think they acquired the guys to help them do that and be a more physical and more in-your-face team. So as long as they're healthy, as long as their young guys keep developing, this should be a playoff team. I can see them definitely making the playoffs this year. Now, when they're in the playoffs, are they going to make a huge amount of noise? I don't think so this year. But down the line, I can see them making some noise in the next few coming years, for sure. So, Ranger fans, you got a lot to look forward to. Like I said, this year, I think you're going to take a step forward, not necessarily all the way forward. So, that's what I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be notified when I drop a new video. And let me know in the comments what you think. If you agree, disagree, once again, be civil. And other than that, make sure to share the video as well. And I will see you on next video. Bye, everybody.